Let's continue learning the motif 3. In the middle, there is pattern 3. For each subsequent pattern, start with a foundation chain. Follow along the braid of foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. For the first row of this pattern, refer to the chart from left to right. Therefore, the wrong side of the first row becomes the right side of the entire motif. Near the end, you'll need to crochet the shoulder part sloping. The stitch technique will change. After completing everything, work a round of single crochets along the outer edge. Next, please watch me demonstrate. First, start with the foundation chain. Here, I also have fewer stitches. Then begin the first row. Make 3 chain stitches. On the 5th to last chain stitch, work 1 double crochet. Continue and work 3 more double crochets evenly. After finishing 2 chain stitches, skip 2 stitches next. Work 1 double crochet. Two chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches next. Work 4 double crochets in sequence. From the chain stitch, repeat this section of stitch pattern. For the ending, work 5 continuous double crochets. Now, that's the end of the first row of the sample. Continue with the second row. Start by working double crochets evenly. After completing, make 2 chain stitches, then work 1 bobble cluster. We'll refer to this as the cluster pattern from now on. First, on the chain stitch to the right of this double crochet, pick up 2 strands and work 2 incomplete double crochets. Then pick up the 2 strands of the adjacent chain stitch. On the left side of the double crochet stitch, work 1 incomplete double crochet. After completing it, yarn over, and draw the yarn through all loops at once. This completes the cluster pattern. Then work 2 chain stitches. For the rest of this row, starting from these 4 double crochets. Repeat this stitch pattern, which means every time you encounter 4 consecutive double crochets, correspondingly work a double crochet. Then work 2 chain stitches, then work one of these cluster patterns. Followed by 2 chain stitches. Following this method, complete the row. The ending consists of 5 consecutive double crochets. After completing it, continue with the third row, using the same stitch pattern as the first row. Start by corresponding a double crochet. Then work 2 chain stitches. On this cluster stitch, work 1 double crochet, followed by 2 chain stitches. Continue to finish the row in this manner. That concludes the third row. Next, repeat rows 2 and 3, all the way until the fourth last row. The stitch pattern changes for the last 3 rows. Just follow the chart for these rows. After completing all rows, don't cut the yarn. Secure it in place. Then turn to the right side. Move the yarn to the top of the turning chain of the last row. Work 1 chain stitch. Work 1 single crochet in the same spot. Then make 1 chain stitch. Continue to refer to the chart and work single crochets on this side. After working 3 single crochets on the edge of the first row, make 1 chain stitch. Then, at the chain stitch next to the insertion point for the double crochet, pick up 2 strands and work 1 single crochet. Keep working single crochets in the insertion points of the double crochets on the left side, or in the holes. Continue all the way down to the last insertion point of the double crochet. Once completed, make 1 chain stitch. For the remaining 2 sides, continue to refer to the chart and work single crochets. After finishing everything, slip stitch into the first stitch to fasten off the yarn. That concludes the third motif. Let's move on to learn the motif 4. In the middle, it is pattern 4. The right side of the first row will be the right side of the entire motif. Finally, work single crochets around the outer edge. Next, please watch me demonstrate. First, everyone refer to the chart. After casting on, complete the first 2 rows. I've already finished these 2 rows. Both rows involve working double crochets and chains. The double crochets in the second row are all worked into chain spaces. After finishing, I will continue demonstrating the third row. Work 3 chain stitches. Turn your work. Correspondingly, make 2 double crochets. then 2 chains, and then on this double crochet stitch, work 5 double crochets together. Once completed, work 2 more chains. Next, starting from the 3rd double crochet stitch here, correspondingly make double crochets. Continue all the way down until 2 stitches are left. Once finished, starting from these 2 chains, repeat this stitch pattern. Keep going until you finish this row. After completing it, continue with the 4th row. Start by making 5 chain stitches. Turn your work. Find the chain stitch adjacent to the right side of this double crochet. Pick up 2 strands of this chain stitch. Then make 5 double crochets at the same time. After completing them, on the chain stitch adjacent to the left side of this double crochet, pick up 2 strands in the same way, and make 5 double crochets simultaneously. After finishing, make 2 chain stitches. Start from the 3rd double crochet stitch, and correspondingly make 5 double crochets. Make 2 chain stitches. Then, starting from these 5 double crochets, repeat this stitch pattern. Continue all the way down to finish the row. After completing it, continue with the 5th row, make 2 chain stitches. Turn your work. In the chain adjacent to the right side of this double crochet, pick up 2 strands, and make 4 double crochets at the same time. Then, in this gap, Make 5 double crochets simultaneously. Next, in the chain adjacent to the left side of this double crochet, pick up 2 strands, and make 5 double crochets at the same time. Once completed, make 2 chain stitches. On the middle double crochet stitch, work 1 double crochet. Then, make 2 more chain stitches. Next, on these 2 chain stitches, and in the middle gap, work 5 double crochets respectively. Once done, crochet symmetrically to the previous section. For the ending, start with the double crochet stitch, and work 3 double crochets on the adjacent chain stitch on the left side. Once completed, continue in the same insertion position. And on the third chain of the turning chain, work a double crochet decrease. That is, first work an incomplete double crochet stitch respectively. On the third chain stitch approximately. Then yarn over, draw the yarn through all loops at once. That completes the double crochet decrease. That's it for the 5th row. Continue to the 6th row, start with 5 chains. Turn your work. In these 2 gaps, work 5 double crochets in each. Then, chain 2. Next, in these 2 chain spaces, work 2 double crochets each. In this stitch, work 1 double crochet. Then, chain 2. Continue following the chart to complete this row. Note that the last double crochet is picked up from the edge stitch of the double crochet. Do not work into the top of the turning chain. That's it for row 6. For the upcoming row 7, I've already completed the initial stitches. Work 5 double crochets in this gap each time. Work 2 chains on both sides. On these stitches, correspondingly work double crochets. Work 2 double crochets in each space. At the end, after working 2 double crochets in the space, you can continue with the last double crochet in the space. You can also pick up the 2 strands of third chain and work. That concludes row 7. All row 8. Simply work double crochets in the corresponding stitches or spaces, and crochet the matching chain stitches. After completing the first 8 rows, repeat the stitch pattern from rows 3 to 8. Continue until you've completed the corresponding number of rows. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. Continue by crocheting the edging. Start by working 1 chain stitch. Turn to the right side. Begin from here. Refer to the chart and work single crochets. Work chain stitches at the corners. Finish by completing the edging. That concludes the 4th motif. Move on to learn motif 5. The middle part is pattern 5. Pattern 5 is identical to pattern 4. Always treat the right side of the first row as the right side of the entire piece. For this pattern, whenever the stitch points to a chain, insert the hook into the chain space and crochet. Otherwise, work on top of the corresponding stitches. At the end of each row, pick up the third chain of the turning chain and work a double crochet. After completing the pattern, proceed to crochet the edging. The edging is the same as for the 4th motif. For the exact stitch count, refer to the chart. That concludes the 5th motif. Let's move on to the motif 6. In the middle, there is pattern 1. Follow the chart to complete the rows in the center. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. Start crocheting the edging from this side. There's no need to turn the work, since the last row was already worked on the right side. Also, pay attention. For the top edge where there are 3 single crochets, you need to work a double crochet instead. Make sure the edge is roughly flat. For all the following motifs, when distinguishing between the right side and wrong side, they should correspond identically to the first 5 motifs. In other words, for the identical pattern, the condition of the right and wrong sides is also the same. For the remaining motifs 7 through 9, just refer to the chart for crocheting. This way, we have covered the motifs for both the front and back pieces. Next, we need to sew the motifs together. You can refer to the schematic diagram and lay out all the motifs. Then proceed with horizontal and vertical sewing separately. It's worth noting that the sides of the second motif on both the front and back pieces are slightly shorter than the first and third motifs on either side. That is, leave 2 single crochets at the top unsewn. Specifically, you can adjust according to the actual situation. Next, I will use 4 small sample swatches. To simply demonstrate the sewing method, you can watch me demonstrate first, and then try it yourself after you've learned. First, take a piece of yarn tail in the corresponding color. Thread the sewing needle. Pay attention. The yarn tail's length should be moderate, and it's best not to exceed 1 meter. I won't cut it here. If it's not long enough later, you can join a new yarn and continue sewing. First, find the corner chain stitch of the 2 motifs. This is the first single crochet of this edge. The adjacent one on the right is the corner chain. Here is the last single crochet of this edge. Pick up the back loop from the corner chain on the wrong side. Which is the strand farther away from you? This is the last single crochet of this edge. Here on the left is the corner chain. From the right side, pick up the strand closer to you. Tie the yarn tail and secure it. Next, each time pick 2 motifs and whip stitch through the half loops that are closer. You can hide the yarn tail as you sew. Don't pull the sewing too tight. And don't make it too loose either. Continue to sew them together correspondingly. Pay attention, all motifs should be facing the correct direction. That means the bottom is row 1. And the top is the last row. Each motif should be placed this way. Note that, if you sew incorrectly in the middle, or if you crochet too many or too few stitches, which causes them not to match up, you can make appropriate adjustments in the final section. On the side with fewer stitches, sew twice in the same position. On the side with extra stitches, sew as usual. Use this method to make adjustments. Just ensure it looks roughly even and nice. I'll continue to sew each stitch in sequence here. After finishing the last single crochet position, sew the corner chain stitch as well. Continue to sew the left side motifs using the same method, starting from this corner chain stitch. Keep sewing until you reach this corner chain stitch. Pay attention to the direction of the motifs. Don't make the corner too loose. If there are more motifs on the left side, continue sewing them together as usual. After finishing all of them, you can sew the ending part one more time, then tie off and weave in the ends. Next, everyone can follow this method. Just sew all the horizontal seams together. After finishing all the horizontal seams, use the same method to sew all the vertical edges together. Every time you encounter a corner, still sew the corner chain stitch to the corner chain stitch as usual. Make sure there are no noticeable large gaps. After sewing, tie a knot on the wrong side, and hide the yarn tail. After sewing the front and back pieces separately, you can sew the shoulders together in correspondence. Leave the sides unsewn for now. That concludes the front and back pieces. Next, let's learn how to make the sleeves. The sleeve consists of the sleeve body motifs and the cuff. First, crochet and sew the sleeve body motif separately. Then, sew the sleeve body motifs onto the front and back pieces. And sew the remaining side edges of the front and back pieces. Finally, crochet the cuffs at the sleeve openings. You need to increase stitches appropriately on both sides of each sleeve motif. This means you'll crochet 2 double crochets on the turning chain. That's how you add 1 extra stitch. For the first row of the 4th motif, after making 3 starting chains, begin crocheting double crochets on the 4th chain. At the end, crochet 2 double crochets on the last chain. You can follow the chart for specifics. Also, don't forget to crochet an edging round for each motif. The process of crocheting the edging is similar to what we did before. When crocheting the single crochets on both sides, the overall pattern is a bit different from the previous motifs. For the sleeve motifs, it's roughly 2 stitches in one row, 3 stitches in the next row, alternating like this. You can follow the chart for specifics. After completing all the sleeve body motifs, use the same method as before, and refer to the schematic diagram. Sew all the motifs together, that is, sew them into a tube. After sewing, fold the sleeve body in half. Pay attention, don't fold it along the sewing position. Instead, fold it at the middle of the motifs. And regardless of whether it's the left or right sleeve, the 1st, 3rd, and 5th motifs should be on top. That is, the side near the shoulder. The remaining motifs will be on the bottom. After folding it in half, compare it with the side edges of the front and back pieces. Leave space for the armhole position. The width of the armhole should match the width of the sleeve after folding. Don't leave too small a space. It's okay if it's slightly bigger, once you've determined the position. You can mark it with a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or paperclip instead. Then sew the bottom part together. After sewing the position below the armhole, don't cut the yarn, and continue to sew the sleeve to the armhole position. The sewing method is the same as before. You can use a few stitch markers to temporarily secure a few points here. This ensures even sewing. After the sleeve is sewn, start crocheting the cuff. The cuff is crocheted in rounds. The first round is worked on these two motifs. Work single crochets. When picking up stitches, it's not done stitch by stitch. I'll explain using this sample swatch. First, join the corresponding color yarn at any seam. Pay attention, right side facing you. Work 1 chain. Crochet 1 single crochet at the joining point. Then refer to the chart, and on the left side in the next 2 single crochets, pick up stitches, and work 1 single crochet each. After completing this, you need to decrease 1 stitch here. We can use the invisible decrease method. That is, do it like this. Pick up the front loops of the 2 single crochets on the left side at the same time. And crochet 1 single crochet. This is the method of invisible decrease. The decrease marks of this method won't be very noticeable. It's more aesthetically pleasing. Then skip these 2 single crochets. And on the next 3 stitches on the left side, correspondingly make 1 single crochet. After completing this, decrease 1 more stitch. Next, everyone continues to refer to the chart, and crochet the edge with single crochets all the way down. The specific number of decreases can also be adjusted according to the situation. The sample has fewer stitches, so the decrease situation is not for reference. Crochet 1 single crochet at the next seam as well. Add another motif position. The crocheting situation is the same as here. Continue to finish the remaining single crochets. On the chart, wherever there are 2 single crochets below corresponding to 1 single crochet above, it indicates that you need to decrease 1 stitch. The method of decreasing stitches can refer to the previous demonstration. After completion, on the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch. This concludes the first round of the cuff. Move on to crochet the second round. This round is all double crochets, but you still need to decrease evenly. Again, use the invisible decrease method. Start with 3 chain stitches. Then refer to the chart. You need to decrease 1 stitch. When decreasing, the insertion point is the same as in the first round. The difference is that you need to work double crochets. The turning chain corresponds to the first single crochet, then on the second and third single crochets, work 1 double crochet. That's how you decrease 1 stitch. Next, if the chart points to a corresponding single crochet, work 1 double crochet in that stitch. If it points between 2 single crochets, it means you need to decrease. For decreasing, refer to the demonstration shown earlier. Everyone continue to refer to the chart, and complete this round of double crochets. Include the turning chain. Make sure the total stitches are an even number. After completing, on the turning chain, pick up the top 2 strands of yarn, and join with a slip stitch. That's how you finish the second round. Continue to work on the third round. Start with 2 chain stitches, then, on the double crochet on the left side, work a front post double crochet. The method is identical to a regular double crochet, except for the insertion point, that is, on the right side. Insert your hook into the gap on the right side of this double crochet, and out through the gap on the left side, picking up this double crochet to work it. Next, work a back post double crochet. The crochet technique is the same as for a double crochet, but it's worked on the wrong side, like this. Pick up this double crochet to work it. For the rest of this round, alternate between 1 front post double crochet and 1 back post double crochet. Work all the way down this round. The last stitch should be a front post double crochet. Once completed, join with a slip stitch at the top of the turning chain. The third round is complete. The crochet method for the following rounds will be identical to the third round. That is, start each round with 2 chain stitches, then alternate between crocheting 1 front post double crochet and 1 back post double crochet. Finish by joining with a slip stitch. Everyone, follow this method to complete the remaining rounds, then fasten off the yarn. That concludes the sleeves. Next, we'll crochet the hem. The hem is also worked in rounds. The stitch pattern is identical to the cuffs. The first round consists of single crochets. The second round uses double crochets. For the remaining rounds, alternate between front post double crochets and back post double crochets. Additionally, during the first 2 rounds, make sure to decrease stitches. The method for for decreasing is the same as for the cuffs. However, the pattern for decreasing is a bit different. Just refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. That concludes the hem. Lastly, we'll work on the collar. The pattern for the collar is the same as the cuffs, but there are fewer rounds of front and back post stitches. In the first round, evenly work single crochets along the neckline. You can pick up stitches according to the arrows indicated on the chart. The exact number of stitches can also be adjusted based on your needs. Since the second motif is slightly shorter than the motifs on either side, you will pick up stitches at the higher position of the adjacent motif here. It's the same for the front piece. When crocheting, you can start picking up stitches from near either shoulder. In the second round, decrease evenly as well. Again, use the invisible decrease. Refer to the chart while crocheting. That concludes the collar. Up to this point, this concludes the explanation of this garment. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.